Hello, everybody. Welcome to Painting with Elkransom. Today, I'm going to show you how to paint. What do I paint like? I'm going to show you. Here's some of my paintings. I did this. Painted a Joker. He's upside down. Painted a zombie chick eating some noodles. Painted a dog. Painted a woman who punched in the face. But just some old pictures. Some old shit. Skulls. Everybody loves skulls. More skulls. All this shit is falling off the table now. More pictures, they're upside down. Look, a lot of faces. I mostly paint faces. Bruce Willis. Orange fuck. Red woman. Someone with a cigarette. This is from Pulp Fiction. Don't know what this is. This is nothing. This is Joker. Hands. Long fucking neck. And a woman. And an elf smoking a cigarette. That was a fraction of my pictures. I painted so many pictures. Would you like to paint like that? I can teach you. But you're probably thinking, why should I paint? I can use AI. I can make the pictures in 20 seconds. I can have an AI picture of exactly my prompts. No, you're not going to do that because AI is not. First of all, forget all about that. Would you want to paint? If you're like me, and I have some, you could call these buffs, you could call these advantages, you could also call these disadvantages. But I have schizophrenia, I have autism, I have ADHD. I have some other problems too, but they're too complicated to explain. If I can paint, you can paint. And do you know the feeling when you're at a family birthday, everybody's looking at you, and people say, well, how's it going at your job? But you don't have a job. You're handicapped, shit like me. But you can say, when they say, well, what do you do in your free time? Or I paint portraits. Well, I'm just painting at the moment. It's going really well. I'm painting a lot of pictures. You want to see my pictures? Yeah, I can show you my picture. That gets you off the hook in many cases when people think, oh, well, what's work? I don't have fucking work. That's number one. It's going to give you something to talk about with other people. And they're probably going to think, well, that's fucking interesting. Oh, I should look into the eye. Number two, do you have a girlfriend? If you don't have a girlfriend, I suggest having a hobby is a good icebreaker when she says, well, what do you do in your free time? You can say, I paint portraits of beautiful women. Perhaps I could paint a portrait of you someday. Perhaps don't do that. But I'm just saying, just tossing it out as an idea. This is what you could do. It could help you land a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's just an idea I have. I actually don't know because I do have a wife. But she hasn't left me, and I suspect it's probably because I paint. No, it's not. Because of my humongous penis. No, actually don't. Money. It's the whole money thing. You can earn some money painting. Nobody knows that you're painting. When you sell a picture, it's basically free money. No one knows you have the picture. If you're selling it, you don't need a receipt. You don't need to pay tax on that. It's basically tax-free money. And taxation is theft. You don't want to pay taxes. You can, of course, if you pay on Etsy, you probably have to pay some taxes. But you don't have to pay all the taxes. Money is a good way to earn money. How do I sell my pictures? You're thinking? I'm going to teach you how to sell the pictures. I have some videos planned where I'm going to go to some stores that you have in your local area too, and I'm going to show you how to sell the pictures. 100% guaranteed. I haven't even tried it myself. I know it's going to work okay. So there's the money thing, but fourth and most important, I don't paint for the bitches, money. I don't paint because it gives me something to talk about at family dinners. I paint because I just enjoy the process of painting. It's my favorite thing to do. When I sit and watch TV at the evening, I paint. When I'm lying in bed, I'm thinking about painting. When I just fucking love painting. It's meditative, sort of therapeutic state of mind when you're painting. And if you don't have that in your life, this is a great way to get it, in my opinion. Because when you paint, time flies, and you have something to show for it at the end. You have a beautiful picture you can put on your wall. But if you're like me, you're probably just gonna love the painting process so much that you're always gonna be painting, and you're always gonna have a picture you're working on. You're always gonna be looking at pictures you can paint, and it's just a whole new way of living life. You're a painter now. This is the moment where you become a painter. You're no longer just, if your name is William, you're no longer just William. You're an artist. You're a painter now. What kind of legacy are you gonna leave when you die? You're gonna have a legacy? Are you gonna have some fucking store that you helped build and it's now the local Walmart, and your grandkids can say, my granddad built a Walmart? That's not even cool. Most of us won't have a legacy. If you paint, people are gonna have your shit on the walls. In 100 years, there's gonna be a TV show where someone is gonna, it's gonna be called, oh, what's it worth? 2079 edition. And some old lady is gonna have your picture, and she got this picture from her mama that you sold it to tomorrow. And this picture is gonna be worth $100 fucking million, because inflation is gonna be really fucking bad in 2071, 79. And people are gonna say, "Oh, who painted this? Oh, it's this crazy painter, man. He lived in Switzerland, and he had a trouble life. It was crazy, the kind of life he had, and he did some beautiful pictures. Oh, you have a first edition. You have an original. 100 million easy, and your grandkids are gonna be rich as fuck. Maybe not grandkids, but those that come after that, great grandkids. Maybe actually, maybe now I think about it, I don't paint all that well. But in 300 years, these paintings are gonna be fucking expensive. You will have made a legacy for yourself as a painter. That's cool. That's something to consider at least. Now you have 4 or 5 reasons to paint. Let's move on. Step number one, you need somewhere to do it. You might think, well, that's a given, but it's actually very important that you find a place. This is my place. This is a table that is never really used because we don't have any guests over, rarely. So it's important that you find a place that you can make sure it's not disturbed every other hour. You want a place where you can just, I know my stuff is there. I'm just gonna go sit there, and all my stuff is gonna be there. And you're probably thinking, oh my god, it's gonna take up a lot of fucking space. No, it won't. Should I have shaved before I did this? I probably should, but I shave in the evenings. So I look like this all fucking day. I never shave in the mornings. So if you're distracted by my scruffy shit here, this is what it looks like after one day. I'm really sorry. I don't shave in the morning. This is a deal breaker for you. I'm sorry I lost you already. But I shave in evenings. The thing about painting with watercolors is normally when you paint with acrylics, you need 50, no, you need perhaps 10 plastic bottles of paint. And they're gonna take up a lot of space. You're gonna, no, you don't want to. Where could I put this on the table? I don't have space for it. And if I had space for it, I would have to find them. And oh, you don't want to do that. Yeah, I also paint acrylics. So I'm just saying, when you begin to paint, you want to do watercolors because it's gonna teach you everything you want to know about how to paint with oil and acrylics. And you can do that in between. Start with watercolors, find out how to paint like me, and you're gonna be a fucking master at painting all kind of shit. Okay, so what do you need? You need a pencil. You need to let me flip the camera. You need one pencil, and that's gonna be a hard pencil. I have other pencils. You don't need any fucking pencils. You need something to mix your paint in. You need paint. This could be any paint. Look, this paint is probably 20 years old. I have no idea what it costs. But the first 100 pictures I painted was with these. You need a paper. This is like the noob colors. Look, it's even got a place for mixing the colors. It got the colors. I'm not lying when I say this. This one lasted me 100 pictures. I bet this is cheap as fuck. You're honestly, this is gonna be cheap as fuck. It's gonna paint you 100 pictures. So you needed pencil, paper. You need some colors. You need a place to mix them. If it's not already built into your colors, you're gonna need white gouache or white acrylic paint. Or you could just plan your pictures really well ahead, but I don't do that. I really recommend this is the only other medium you'll need. You'll need white gouache or white acrylic paint, and you're gonna use this at the end of the picture. I have some fucking pencils here. I got these for free, but you're of course gonna need 2 or 3 brushes. There's a lot of brushes in this. I don't use half of them. I actually only use 1 or 2 brushes, and it's the same brushes I always fucking use. You don't need a lot of brushes. You just then my father comes for a visit and says, "Oh, I bought you brushes." Oh, thank you, father. But I never fucking used them. You're gonna need small brush, bigger brush, and if you're fancy, you have 3 brushes. You have a big fucking brush. How much space does this take up in your living room? Let's take a look. This looks bad now, probably. Don't think about this one. This to hold the camera. I don't even know what this is. This is what it looks like. You could just, when you leave, just put your shit on top of it. It doesn't look so bad. Look at this. It takes up barely any space. You're gonna need a ruler. I have this ruler. It's 30 centimeters long. It's not gonna be long enough. This is what I have. I just use this ruler. So you need, let me see. Gonna need a fucking stick too. This stick is important. Stick is important. You're gonna use this stick a lot. I'll show you why. This is the stuff you need. You don't need anything else. Oh, you need a phone or a PC, but that's to find the pictures. And we're gonna do some shit on the. I'll show you just what we do. You take your piece of paper. What kind of paper do I need, you think? What kind of paper does a master use? You need watercolor pad. 20 sheets, 200 grams per square inch, per square meter. Honestly, I don't know what this means. 200 grams, it's all right. It's the absolute budget edition. You don't want to go below 200 grams. Why? I'm going to teach you when we're painting why you don't want to go below. You can get 150 grams also. But this already, believe me, this is cheap. This is $10. It's 30 sheets. You need this. What we're gonna do next? Look, I have a sort of contraption here. You're gonna take this ruler, you're gonna take your paper, you're gonna draw every 1.5 centimeters. We're gonna do this. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. Once you've done this a bunch of times, you'll know these numbers in your head, but 1.5 centimeters across. Now it's important when you go to the other side, you start measuring from up here and not down here, because your shit's gonna be all wrong. You always measure from up here and down. Do this on the other side too. We do it up here. Look at this. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. Like this. We do this all over the back. We are also gonna do this in the. Once we have done that, we line up these lines carefully. See, I have a line here, a line there. We do like this. Now we have a line. Now we do this for all the other lines. Why do we need a long fucking stick when we have a ruler? Because look at this. The ruler is not going to extend it far enough. This is why you need a long stick. This one is going to connect to the lines at the bottom. This is the cat, sorry. She want to go out. I'll let her out in a second. Oh, so you need a long stick. This is what you need the long stick for. Once you've done all this, we're moving on. You actually need one more thing. I just realized. You need light. You need sunlight. Because when you look at the colors, these beautiful colors here, they're gonna have a different color during the daytime than they are during the nighttime when you have your stupid fucking LED lights that are gonna make all your colors orange or blue or some. LED lights are not good for painting. So you're gonna wanna paint in the sun. Or if you're fancy like me and you have a wife that's somewhat of a MacGyver, look at this contraption over here. This is normally something you would put your paintings on. I can move this around. Now the light sits at my table. This bulb in here, this is called a daylight bulb. And we probably stole this from somewhere because these are expensive. If you know a place that has daylight bulbs, if you can't afford it, I'm not going to say steal it, but you're going to need a daylight bulb if you paint in the evenings because it's going to be a white sort of light that mimics the sunlight. And when you're doing if you don't have a daylight bulb and you paint in the evenings, don't work very much on the color part. Just do the black and white sort of stuff. Do always the colors in the daytime or if you have a daylight bulb because your shit's gonna look all wrong when it's daytime. So that's why you need either daylight bulb, you need sunlight, or you need to just know that when you're painting colors in the night, it's gonna look very different in the daytime. And this might be an over exaggeration, but this is one of the over exaggerations I'm gonna keep alive in this artist field because I think it might be true, and I'm not very good at colors. And if other people say it, it's probably fucking true. This is the tip I got. That's why I have a daylight bulb. You don't need an advanced setup. This shit is probably free somewhere. It's just some fucking place where you can pick it up. No one's using these. And this is tinfoil. You can make a hat out of it if you have more. But this is honestly really easy setup. So this is what you need also. I just realized how can I film with my phone? I can't do that. So I don't know how I'm gonna explain this. What you're gonna need is to go on the Play Store. I'm gonna put up some photos of what you're looking for. If you have an iPhone, what you need is an app that can draw a grid on top of a picture. So if you have, let's say you find this picture, you're gonna want to draw a grid on top of it. And we're gonna draw that same grid on our paper. And then we're just gonna fill in the squares. It sounds probably hard, but it's not hard. You just need you need to search for artist grid or drawing grid or something like this. And all of these apps allow you to, it's basically made for the people like us. There's a lot of people who use a grid, and if you don't know what a grid is, don't worry about it. It's just a grid on top of a picture. I'm going to show you now how it works. Actually, I think this is enough for video number 1. Find all the shit I told you about in the video. Find some approximation of something that you can use. And then I'll catch you in the next video. This was just to get you hooked. I'm gonna need to find something to put my camera on. I'm gonna show you how to paint. Let's lesson 1. All the stuff you need. Hope you enjoyed it. I love you. Let's paint together. Let's make a legacy.